The milestone myth, modern life and other cogitations. Do milestones become millstones? These are my cogitations. I think the conclusion is positive, and this is by someone who played the game, won a few rounds, and still thinks it's rigged. University, where dreams go to accrue interest. University used to be about knowledge, curiosity, and in more ways than one, the expansion of the mind. Now it's more like Witherspoons with PowerPoint. You're charged over £9 a year to be ignored in lecture halls by a man with elbow patches who hasn't updated his slides since the Iraq War. And once you graduate, it's straight onto the job market, where employers greet your CV with a kind of benevolent apathy. Oh, you've got a 2-1 in philosophy. Lovely. Can you make a flat white? No, don't call us. Meanwhile, the debt sits quietly in the background, accruing interest all the time. It's gnawing, chomping, reminding you that even if you earn below the repayment threshold, you still belong to them, the overlords. It's not just a student loan, it's an initiation ritual into lifetime fiscal servitude. The property ladder. It now has grease on every rung. Here's how it works. You're told renting is throwing money away, so you aim for that sacred first home. But the deposit is the equivalent of robbing a small nation's GDP, making demeaning videos, or foregoing any kind of pleasure. And even if you do get the mortgage, all you've bought is a box with walls made of cardboard, plumbing from the Blitz, and neighbours who think DIY at 11 a.m. is spiritual, as are raves at 11 p.m. And don't even think about moving. You're now shackled to a postcode you chose purely because it had a Lidl for their cheap cornettos and a pub called the Winchester. The government might as well tattoo your interest rate on your forehead because property, well, it's no longer ownership. It's middle class indenture with a view of the recycling bins. Marriage. It's not a scam, but the marketing is. Let's be clear. Love is real. I've lived it. I was happily married. This isn't a bitter screed against connection. This is a withering glance at how society markets marriage as some sort of achievement badge. We're fed wedding porn from an early age, films, magazines, TV, everyone acting like marriage is the final level of the human game. And if you don't make it there by 35, you've somehow failed the tutorial. But marriage isn't a tick box. It's not a guarantee of emotional riches, yet people sign up for it like they're joining Amazon Prime. Then they wake up 5 years in matching towels, crippling silence, and a deep knowledge of how the other person chews. The real scam isn't marriage. It's the fantasy that it fixes things. You're still you, just now with joint council tax, and often without the connection and the love. Career. Dress for the job that you want, even if it's a breakdown. Your job is now your identity. People don't ask how you are, they ask what you do. And you'd better have an answer that sounds vaguely impressive, or you'll see their eyes glaze over while they scan the room for someone with a more interesting job title. We're encouraged to do what we love until we burn out and cry in the work toilet. Hustle culture, it's just capitalism with a ring light. Productivity apps have replaced religion. Sleep is for the weak, apparently. And if you can't monetize your hobby, why even bother having one? You're sold climbing the ladder like it's noble, but you get to the top and find out it was leaning against a skip containing a festering, pustulating, rancid corpse. And here's the kicker. When you finally need to step off the hamster wheel. When life gets real, your employer's loyalty evaporates like the LinkedIn endorsement. Thanks for your service, Sandra. HR will be in touch with a genetic farewell email. The ultimate betrayal from the skip dwellers you once considered contemporaries. Independence, because needing people is for losers. You're supposed to be independent by 18, ideally sooner. If you dare to move back home, society looks at you like you've turned up to a funeral in Crocs. But independence in 2025 looks like this. £800 for a box room with character, aka black mould. Shared bathroom and kitchen, of course, with God knows who. Decent people, you would hope. Ready meals that taste like regret, with a salty side of tears and misery. Takeaways which are overpriced, detract from your savings, add to your misery, but taste oh so good. Screaming into the void at 2 a.m. after seeing your bank balance post direct debits. The irony? In pretending not to need anyone, we've become a nation of emotionally constipated husks. But hey, at least we're not dependent, unless you count Deliveroo, antidepressants and debt consolidation loans. Social media. It's like the Matrix, but with more filters. You're not online anymore. You are online. Yeah? Your face, your breakfast, your mildly witty thoughts about bin day. Who puts the bins out first? A binfluencer. All packaged, posted and fed to an algorithm like digital chum. They told us social media was expression, but now we all sound like AI written job applications. Authentic, driven, passionate about brunch. Instagram used to be for sharing memories. Now it's a theater of curated envy, a cornucopia of falsehoods. The ultimate lifestyle lie. You post a smiling selfie while your world is collapsing, then spend an hour comparing your own life to influencers who are either crying on the bathroom floor, dead inside, or perhaps both. All the while the platforms harvest your clicks and flog your psyche to the highest bidder. We're not the audience, we're the livestock. But let's address the elephant in the dopamine deficient room. For the neurodivergent among us, those wired a bit sideways, colourfully, chaotically, the life script was never just uninspiring. It was often genuinely confusing. You're told to follow the steps, but nobody explains why. You're handed a checklist. Your brain looks at it and says, okay, but what's the point? Tick the boxes, they say. Degree, got it. Job, got one. Mortgage, debilitating but done. And then, nothing. No inner fanfare. No spiritual confetti. Just the sound of your prefrontal cortex whispering, is this it? Some of us achieved the milestones and then promptly got bored. This isn't laziness, that's not entitlement. It's the crushing weight of meaningless wearing a suit and tie. And it's not all bad news. Some of us, when the milestones failed to deliver, looked around and thought, maybe the problem isn't me. Maybe it's the bloody path. I didn't feel that way about everything, not my marriage. My wife understood me, got me in a way the society never could. That was real. That was grounding. That was a milestone that didn't disappoint because it wasn't about achievement. It was about a true connection, a profound love. But for everything else, the ladders, the boxes, the blingy, glittery life template, sometimes the sanest thing that anybody, especially a critical thinker, can do is just walk away from the script entirely. Not because you failed to adapt, but because you saw the rot before anyone else caught the scent. So here's your validation. If you've never understood the milestones, or chased them only to find them hollow, you're not broken. You're just allergic to bullshit. So final thoughts. Modern life promised liberation. What it gave us was a collection of glittery bear traps, each one disguised as a milestone. We're sold debt as freedom. We're sold loneliness as strength. We're sold performance as authenticity. And when we don't feel fulfilled, we're told it's our fault for not trying hard enough. But you're not broken. The system is. So burn the script. Step off the ladder. Live in the cracks if you have to. And next time someone tells you to follow the milestones, ask if they've ever actually been to the destination their precious milestones apparently lead to.